Hello everyone. So we'll start in just 1 minute. All right. Hello everyone. So welcome back to another podcast. So today we have Prita Chakraborti. She is currently vice president at one of the world's leading financial institutions, and she has previously worked at Google as data and AI solution architect. So in today's podcast, she'll share her journey, career tips, and insights, and basically like how to crack interview, a Google interview. So we are so happy to have you here, Prita. Hello.
Thanks, Imran. Thanks for having me
Yeah.
here.
Okay. So first, let's start with your introduction. Okay, can just give your brief introduction, your education background, and how did you landed into Google? Okay, brief introduction. Then we can discuss more about this. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. So
Uh,
yeah, I am Prita Chakraborti, and I have 10 plus years of experience as of now. About my background, I'm a computer science engineer, and right after completing my BTech, I have joined IT industry. Uh, so yeah, and currently I'm working at in VP level in a financial firm, as you said, and I have also worked quite a few years at Google,
mhm,
and I was also actively interviewing at that particular point of time at Google.
mhm,
So
mhm.
yeah, that's kind of my brief introduction.
Okay, so first let's start with the interview process. Okay, so can just start with the what will be the different rounds and how it basically starts. Okay, assume like I'm just a student. Okay, I'm just looking for you can just start with some basic role. I mean, like for the some specific role, what could be the generic rounds? Okay, in the Google. Yeah.
Sure. So I would also first like to talk about few roles. So in a broader level, there are two types of roles. One is core software engineer roles, SWE roles, and in that again your domain specific things like in data, in machine
Mhm,
learning, it will
mhm,
be there will be the
mhm,
divisions,
mhm,
but it is
mhm,
SWE roles, and then there comes technical engineer roles. So
mhm,
there cloud engineers, data
mhm,
engineers, solution
mhm, mhm,
architects, and many other things will come again.
mhm, mhm,
so
mhm,
uh, so these TSC roles, if you go for the interview, will majorly many of the rounds will be very domain specific,
mhm,
expertise
mhm,
specific. If you go for
mhm,
SWE roles, that's
mhm,
a generic role. It will be
mhm,
quite the domain rounds will be there, but it will be
mhm,
more generic. But
mhm,
obviously in both of the roles, if you go for, there will be
mhm,
few generic rounds. So I will
mhm.
start with that. So
Sure.
basically, typically, uh, if you are going for L3 to L4 level, so
Hmm.
basically if someone is
Can you just
fresher, right?
tell me the role L because many people doesn't know what is the L1, L2. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the level. So I
Mhm,
think it
mhm.
starts from, in India it starts from L2.
Okay.
That is
Mhm,
the entry level one. So if
mhm,
you are going from college and 2 3 years
so L2 is
experience,
the entry level into Google.
entry level lol
Okay.
yeah. And
Hmm.
then you can go for like L3 is when you are early career professional, I think
Mhm, mhm,
till 6 7 years it will
mhm,
be like that.
mhm,
And then L4 comes up, then
mhm.
from L5 L6 there will be a different whole set of
Okay.
uh,
Mhm.
I mean grading system as well. So
Okay.
then from L7 it goes to managerial roles,
Mhm.
basically the
Correct.
lead
Mhm,
level roles.
mhm,
These are
mhm,
like that.
mhm,
So and again here it is not only with your years of experience basically.
mhm,
So
mhm,
if
mhm,
someone is performing excellently well in the
mhm,
interview, their level might go up. So
mhm,
even if you are suppose some candidate is having suppose 2 or 3 years of experience, so initially
mhm,
even if the
mhm,
interview got started for L2,
mhm,
then if he or she is performing extremely well, it may
mhm,
go up
mhm,
L3 L4. So it is based
mhm,
on what you
mhm,
can bring into the table, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there actually there is no bureaucracy kind of thing here.
Okay.
So that is the one thing. And also, it may go down also, even if you suppose someone is having 15 years of experience or so. They are really interviewing for a higher role. But
Mm-hmm.
if the interviewers, the set of interviewers here, not only one person, if they
Mm-hmm.
thinks that he or she is not performing as good as per
For
the role,
specific role.
yeah, so it
Mm-hmm.
is not a direct reject. They can think of, like, downgrading the role. uh
Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So they'll not
So
cancel out, but at least they'll downgrade or they go
so
upgrade based on
if
the skills.
if it is really your interview went really bad and all, then obviously they will be canceling. But
Cancel.
if it
And
is
then,
like
no, I'm asking like when they want to hold the candidate. I mean, like in terms of
then
okay.
downgrading the
Mm.
role is there.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
similarly, upgrading the role is also there.
Mm.
So first, it will start with the DSA rounds in both of the cases. If you are
Mm.
technical is a solution engineer, or if you are core SWE, it will start with the DSA roles. Okay,
Mm.
but for
Mm.
SWE level, there will be three DSA roles, 3 to 4, depending on the roles. The again the levels you are going for. But for
Mm.
TSC, the DSA will be 1 to 2, because there
Mm.
more
Mm.
lot of domain specific rounds will be there.
Correct.
So
Mm.
it's like that. But
Mm.
DSC is the generic, DSA is the generic one which people has to clear. And
Mm.
when I call DSA, it is data structure and algorithm.
Mm. Mm.
So basically in the so okay, so first I
So
will
you'll have the
go
three rounds. You'll have 3 rounds for the
3 rounds of
DSO.
DSA only. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
then, in SWE roles, 3 to 4 rounds of
Mm.
DSA.
Mm.
In TSC roles, 1 to 2 rounds of DSA. But
Okay.
it is
Mm.
there. So once
Okay.
that DSA is cleared, then
Mm.
you go for the domain round. So domain round
Okay.
is
Mm.
basically your expertise. So for fresh
Mm.
graduate, it can be
Mm.
anything, or it can be a generic domain round also, where they will
Mm.
ask about many technologies and all your
Mm.
like, college projects and all. And if you
Mm.
are a experienced professional, it will be on the area you are experienced.
Yeah, I'll apply it for. Huh. Hmm. So I think there is discontinuity. Let's wait. I think some problem. Yeah, I say I think there is some internet issues. Okay, she'll join back. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, okay, to ask Prita, okay, you can just type in the chat. Okay.
Sorry, I think
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
there was a
No issues.
disconnection from
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
end. I'm
Hmm.
really sorry for that.
No. No. That's okay.
So
That's
I was in the domain round part. So
okay.
once the domain rounds are cleared, there
Hmm.
will be system design round, and the
Hmm.
system design round is also a mandatory round. So depending on
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
level and role,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
number of system design round may differ, but usually
Hmm.
it is one system design round.
Hmm.
And then once the system design round is also cleared, then will come the managerial round, and then
Hmm.
finally the googliness round. Okay, and
Okay.
then the
Hmm.
HR will have a discussion with you regarding your
Hmm.
that will happen after all the roles
So what
composite
was the
package.
last round? You need something. Google. Last round. What
Googliness
was
round. So
Googliness
it's
round?
termed as Googliness round. So I
Googliness.
will
Okay.
explain what
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, coming to DSA, data structure and algorithm, it is like, as everyone knows it, they will not give you any language restriction. You can
Hmm.
the hiring manager or the HR
Hmm.
will ask you beforehand only which is your
Hmm.
comfortable language. So you
Hmm.
can choose any language,
Hmm.
and there are mostly all the languages are there, because they
Hmm.
have the interviewer for all of the languages. So you
Hmm.
can choose any. So it will
Hmm.
be focused on this generic, like, time complexity
Hmm.
optimization, space
Hmm.
complexity optimization.
Hmm.
Then yeah, how you choose different, choose and use different data structure, those are available, why you are choosing some data structure,
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
means it is all about how optimally you can do your work.
Hmm. Hmm.
What is the best strategy you choose for.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's there. So
So
now,
in the three rounds, so how it is divided? I mean, like in the three rounds of this, because you said three
uh,
rounds of data science. Huh.
yep. So in the three rounds, these will be three DSA rounds only. So
Mhm.
one round they can maybe ask you some questions with shorting algorithm. One round it
Mhm.
might be
Mhm.
some time complexity analysis. But
Mhm. So it will be
yeah,
problem
so
solving, right? It will be
it
problem
is
solving.
code, yeah, problem
Mhm.
solving plus coding round, and three rounds
Okay. Mhm.
independently. In three rounds only, you have different interviewers where you
Mhm.
have to solve a problem and give the coding. Like, this is a pure
Mhm.
coding
So how
round.
you rate this? I mean, like in terms of difficulty, is it difficult? I mean, like first three rounds.
First three rounds are, I think,
Mm.
most
Mm.
difficult part.
Difficult. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
So
Huh.
yeah, most of the
So because this
elimination
is
happens
very
there.
because even generally this is a very basic question. Okay, they ask like, do we need to learn DSA? Do we need to learn DSA? I hope you have
Hmm.
answered that question because DSA is
Hmm.
very important to get into.
Yeah, so in
Not only.
product based companies, DSA is
Mhm.
very important. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
and in the
Yeah.
other in the TSC role also, one to two
Mhm.
DSA round, but those are mandatory, and
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
is pretty tough only. But I
Mhm.
won't say tough. It again depends on how the candidate is preparing. So
Mhm.
also what role he or she currently works, and I would
Mhm.
really say, like, for the fresh graduates, the cracking the interviews are even more easier than the experienced people, because in
Okay.
college and all, the DSA and
They have
everything you
correct.
will have handy, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
yeah.
So what could be
So
the I mean, like, okay, along with this, we'll discuss the preparation also so that we can just
mhm.
go up. Okay. So because you said
Yeah,
it will be
yeah.
very hard. Okay. So what could be the like some tips? Okay. So this is what I mean, like if they
So
go through this, okay,
I
they can crack the interviews. Huh.
yeah, so I won't say it is very hard. It is again personal thing. Like, at
Correct.
what level you are into, it will be, I
Correct.
can say it is medium to hard level.
Moderate,
It is
moderate
not
to hard.
very easy,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
moderate
Hmm.
level it is.
Okay. Hmm.
It
Hmm.
is into. Uh, so in terms of preparation, I would say, you can go. You can. Someone can check Lead Code. It's a very
Lead
good
code. Hmm.
resource.
Hmm.
And obviously, if someone is getting a call from Google HR, they will also
Hmm.
share a prep material. But these are some
Okay.
common generic one, like Lead Code. Lead Code is
Hmm.
something which very good thing for preparation. There
Hmm.
also the coding challenges are there. Google
Hmm. So
hiring
I have heard
challenges.
about something called CP. CP. I don't know, like if I'm pronouncing correctly. It's called competitive programming. Is those
Yeah,
questions comes in
competitive.
this? Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
competitive programming, dynamic programming, these you have to
Mhm.
check. And
Mhm.
majorly, also I would say, time complexity and space complexity, these two are two major things. Okay,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
Google actually deals with a huge amount of data, so they need
Mhm.
someone
Mhm.
who can actually, like, reduce the complexities, do the
Mhm.
efficient programming. So that's a key
Mhm.
thing for them. So if
Mhm.
someone, if I will really suggest a candidate, if you are preparing, you take a problem first, solve it how
Mhm.
you are able to solve it. Is,
Mhm.
suppose if it is brute force, you have
Mhm.
to, suppose if in the problem you got three nested loops, it is o n to the power 3. So
Mhm.
now you keep on trying, like, how you can improve it, how you can
Mhm.
make it
Mhm.
o n square, how you can make it o
Mhm.
n, how you can make it o log n. Not
Mhm.
necessarily every problem will come down to o log n or so, but you
Correct.
keep on
Mhm.
trying, improving, researching. And
Mhm.
now people has, like, Gemini, Chat GPT, you can
Mhm.
take help
Mhm.
from there as
Mm,
well.
correct.
So yeah,
Mhm. Correct.
yeah,
So conceptual is important. I mean, like rather than conceptually
yeah.
understanding of the DSS. Correct. Huh.
Yes, it's very important. And practicing, I think Geeks for Geeks is also a good site. I mean, there are
Mhm.
n number of sites, but I am only listing down which I felt very good.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and again, one book I can suggest, Cracking the Coding Interview. And
Mhm.
especially if you are a university graduate, I would really suggest that will be a very good,
So
like,
how it is different?
material.
For example, if I'm preparing for Google, okay, so I have referred all these resources. So is it like we get a similar kind of a question, or it could be a completely new problem where you like, for example, if I'm going through some of the suggestions from, for example, you're
Hmm.
giving some suggestions, right? So like,
Hmm.
how is it repetitive? I mean, like some of the rounds where I can just expect, okay, this kind of questions may come or something like that.
So see, it completely depends on the interviewer, but
Okay,
it will be only, you will get only similar question if you are very lucky. But
correct,
you make, but
correct.
but it will be like that. The concept is same, You got a new problem or a
Hmm.
new
So why I
question.
highlighted this, because then
Uh-huh.
people will solve these questions. Okay, when they come up with new questions, they're
Mhm.
not able to do it. So it's not only
Mm.
about solving those questions. They need to have the conceptual understanding of like whatever the
Yes.
problem is. They need to build it, study. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So what is the problem and why you are doing this particular
Hmm.
approach for that? Like
Hmm.
if you are applying this, suppose backtracking, why you are
Hmm.
applying backtracking here? Why not
Hmm.
something else?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
those kind of things.
Okay. Fine.
So then after the DSA round, there will be the domain round. So
Hmm.
there, the domain specific questions will be asked. If you are a machine learning engineer, you will get ML related question. If you are data
Hmm.
engineer or other, like DevOps, you will get those domain specific questions.
Hmm.
And for
Hmm.
the in the university graduates, it will be
Hmm.
generic technical rounds only.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, then comes the system design round. So
Hmm.
system design round is also one mandatory round. That is,
Hmm.
like they will give you a scenario, like
Hmm.
suppose design a parking lot,
Hmm.
then design a online shopping portal, or
Hmm.
it can be also design a Facebook, like networking
Hmm.
site, something like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they are not so in that particular system design round, they won't ask you to code and create a application. It is
Hmm.
not that. But
Hmm.
there will be a, a blank document where you have
Hmm.
to put everything into places. So you have to start
Hmm.
with the requirements gathering, then what
Hmm.
are the functional outcome of it,
Hmm.
what are
Hmm.
the technical expectations, so how
Hmm.
we will design, which technical
Hmm.
modules we will bring into. You
Hmm.
can focus in some areas, and then I will ideally suggest first you give us design, then
Hmm.
keep on saying I can give, I can improve this by using this, suppose caching
Hmm.
technology,
Hmm.
suppose using
Hmm.
this Redis or something like
Hmm.
that. First you
Hmm.
give some design, then you keep on improving it, and the interviewer will also ask you in that
Hmm.
line why you have
Hmm.
done that, how to improve this part, if this part is lagging or not. So it's like that. And one
Hmm.
more thing I will suggest, like whenever someone is going for an interview, uh, like that person has to ask also, ask that
The
like
question, I mean, like
clarifying
kind of cross question.
questions
Huh,
as
correct.
well.
Hmm.
So if you are like into an interview and you got a
Hmm.
question, you are not completely sure about that, but still you
Hmm.
are like you are
Keep on
thinking like
solving or doing.
yeah, if you are
Correct. Huh.
thinking like if I don't get the question, I cannot ask, I will just try to
Hmm.
make something out of it.
Hmm.
That will
Hmm.
not really help. Better
Hmm.
you ask the clarifying questions
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
get the clarifications.
Hmm.
And that is also one part of the, like the system, in the system design round, or any times when we create a solution, we do the architecture diagram and kickstart a program or project, right? The communication is very important. So they evaluate you on the basis of that also. Your clarifying questions are also very important.
Hmm.
So yeah, so now after the DSA round, there will be like the hiring manager round will be there, and the
Hmm.
Googliness round will be there. But
Hmm.
here, for some of the candidates, all till the Googliness round happens, and then only they will evaluate again every packet and all the feedbacks. But for
Hmm.
some candidates, they can also, like take some time after system design, and then
Hmm.
can go for the managerial and
Hmm. Hmm.
Googliness round. So
Hmm.
I will also, like give you a highlight, like so in other companies what happens, the candidate has to prepare much and give the take the
Hmm.
interview, right? But
Hmm.
while you are into Google interview, we will also see the interviewer is writing something, they are keep on writing, because
Hmm.
we needed to mention everything you were saying. Everything has to be
Hmm.
documented. So if I
Hmm.
am, suppose, selecting you, I have to give justification. If I am rejecting you, I
Correct.
have to give justification. If I am
Hmm.
upgrading your level, I have to give justification. If I am downgrading, I
Hmm.
have to give justification.
Hmm. So for
So
some people, the
yeah,
beginner, they may thinking they may doing some other work. Actually, they are typing your
yeah, they
commands
are
itself.
not,
Yeah.
they are
Correct.
noting down everything.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah. So after your system design round happens, what happens is, like whatever rounds you have, so that interviewer will definitely give all the feedbacks within one day only. But there is a, like hiring committee sits.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so your packet, we call it a packet, your packet will come. So whoever gave you whatever rating, that those will be evaluated, and then a
Hmm.
composite grading will be given.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then maybe then you are going for the hiring manager round and the Googliness round. And
Hmm.
sometimes you may go for those two first, and then the
Hmm.
entire
So
thing
how
will
fast
happen.
this process is? I mean, like,
This will take, for me, it took around 2 months.
2 months
For
process.
yeah. So
Hmm.
for some people it was
So
more.
for
For
every
some,
round, there'll be a gap, right? I mean, like after, like starting with the
uh,
DSA. Huh?
not every round.
Hmm.
So when, if you are going for that interview, the interview, so first of all the HR will ask you to select, they will share a calendar. From
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
available dates you have to select the
Hmm.
dates. So
Hmm.
they mostly give you preparation time also, but it is typically, if today they called you, you can take suppose 3 weeks after, time after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
should not be more than that, because they also
Hmm.
have to close
Hmm.
the
Hmm. Hmm.
like position, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you can take some but when the interview kick starts, no, what I
Hmm.
have seen, then the rounds are quicker. If
Hmm.
the time you are taking from the initial, HR screening to that,
Hmm.
that is
Hmm.
the majority,
Hmm.
major time it takes.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, Gajalakshmi, you have a question, so I'll ask. Okay, just can just wait. I think there is some network issues. Let's wait.
uh,
Yeah, fine. Okay, yeah,
I'm back.
you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more thing. So before your actual DSA round start, the HR will also do one small 15 minutes of screening. So
Hmm.
that is also there.
Hmm.
And that will be on the same day when the HR is calling you for the interview round,
Hmm.
right? So that is really, that is not very big deal. That is easy
Hmm.
only.
Hmm.
So now after, again, to come to your question, you can have some 2-3 days gap between the interviews, but
Hmm.
it won't be too much.
Hmm.
uh,
Okay. Hmm.
so yeah.
Oh. Hmm.
So yeah, so then once this happens, then managerial round is not, like, they will evaluate you on the basis
Hmm.
of what, again, what you have done. The basically the project manager of a vertical actually
Hmm.
interviews you.
Hmm.
That is there. Then googliness round is one more important round, I will say, because
Hmm. So
they
even
actually,
in the managerial one, they'll ask the technical questions. I mean, like,
they can ask technical question. They can ask your project, whatever
okay,
project you are
basically on
going
resume,
to.
what you have mentioned. Okay, it will be based on that.
They can ask that. So then your googliness round, where basically they check the culture fit. And
Hmm.
here, the in the googliness round also, someone can have an elimination,
Hmm.
because if I mean, there won't be very difficult questions also, but they check the positive attitude basically, and
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
sensitive you are in terms of, like, diversity hiring, in terms of
Hmm.
many DEI like initiatives and all.
Hmm.
So they will
Hmm.
check that. And
Hmm.
also how you handle the critical situation. They
Hmm.
will give you scenarios, like, think about a situation where you have, like, disagreement with your manager, with your
Hmm.
peers, you are into tremendous pressure, you have your personal problems also, how
Hmm.
we will do. And you have
Hmm.
to give a logical solution, not like
Hmm.
I will be working, because
Okay.
you have to give a practical
Correct.
answer. So yeah, that is there.
So this is
So
so can I tell this is a behavioral interview? I mean, like,
yes,
so we
this is a behavioral interview. Yeah.
mm, mhm.
And yeah, there are also a lot of materials are available there, and they can also ask you, like, why you
So is
want
it
to
like we
join.
need to prepare for that, or it's something which comes out in natural
See, again, that depends, person to person, because
person? Okay.
so for me, I was already, like, a part of the DEI initiatives, hiring initiatives in my previous company. So
Companies. Okay.
it was not very difficult for me. But if
Okay.
you are not, if someone is
Mm,
having this shyness, and
mm.
they are not very comfortable speaking their own
Speaking correct.
thoughts and all, so
Mm-hmm.
then it is better to do some preparation, watch some
Preparation. Okay.
videos. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Mm.
So
So
after
after.
all the round happens, this packet will go to the hiring committee. Then
Mm,
the decision, they will give a composite decision. Then only HR will call the candidate with the final level they are offering, final offer, like, they are offering. Then if you say yes, then the
mm.
offer will proceed.
Okay, so this is the entire process, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
so here the main highlight is DSA and system design. Apart from the domain,
Yes, yes.
okay.
And
So,
also
mm,
you can ask for a demo interview from Google itself, if you
mm,
can ask that to the HR. So
mm,
there are some these kind of provisions, but it will again happen, like, how many interviewers
mm,
are available, their
mm,
timings, like that.
mm.
Yeah.
So here I
Mhm.
have one question. Like for the working professional, they can show up their experience. I mean, like previous experience. Like what about fresher? I mean, like when they want to apply it. Okay, so in terms of resume and in terms of projects, I'm like how unique and what skills they show up like in their resume in terms of projects, so that they can get selected like first round. I mean, like okay, they have just selected from
Mhm.
the from the HR. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can say you should have a structured resume, like 2 to 3 pages resume, not more than that. Like for freshers, ideally 1 page or 2 pages is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And but still, someone has to highlight all the skill sets. So it is very helpful if you have any open source contribution, like GitHub
Okay, so
contributions,
that's
or
main, right? Because even
that's
can
not
I,
main.
if I'm
I would
not
say,
wrong, if I'm not
yeah.
wrong, can I say like even the college or even percentage matters?
I'm not very sure, but it may matter. Like
Correct.
for
Correct.
freshers, but
Mhm,
for
mhm,
experience, it's not. It won't matter
mhm,
that much.
mhm, mhm,
But yeah, like and also, like the open source contributions are also not mandatory. But I will
mhm,
say it is a what I can say. It is a compound of everything.
mhm,
Like if
mhm.
you have
It's okay.
less in
Correct.
one
Mhm.
particular thing, you
Yeah, there
better
should be something in some other
something
thing.
which
Correct.
is
Correct.
yeah.
So there is one question from Gaja Lakshmi. Okay, so she's
Mhm.
asking, so where can I apply to Google? So what are the portals or website that jobs are posted, or should I prefer participating in challenges?
So participating in challenges are very good thing to do, I would suggest. And even if you have own or participated in some challenges in fresher level, if that is in your resume, that will really be helpful. Google
Mhm,
also, they also have this year. I mean, entire year there are some challenges, some kind of those hackathons and all will be there. If you can
mhm,
participate into that, that will be really good, not only for Google interview, it is also for your learning. It will help you in your career. But
mhm,
regarding the websites where Google jobs are posted, the careers at google.com, and you
mhm.
can get those things in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very helpful website in this case, I would say.
Okay, so now let's just can just give a brief overview of the preparation. I mean, like just for the preparation. Okay, what could be the resources
Mhm.
or like how long it may take? Okay, if someone is looking for like they're looking for the Google, right? So how long it may take to complete? I mean, like so we can just give an idea on that. Yeah.
Mhm. So uh, you can typically say 3 to 4 months will should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it depends on how where are you at in your current position, what exactly you do. If you
Mm-hmm.
are in a very coding intensive position, so it may take even less for you. If
Mm-hmm.
you are in a very
I think there is discontinuity. Let's wait. Yeah. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, okay, you can just send me in chat. Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. I don't know
No,
what
no,
is
that's
happening
okay.
today.
No, no, that's
Uh-huh.
okay. Yeah. So it
Mhm.
was discontinued. You can just repeat that question. Yeah.
So typically, I can say 3 to 4 months, but again,
Mhm.
depending on your situation. If you are in a core, coding intensive role, it may take less
Mhm.
for you. If
Mhm.
not, then it may take more for you.
So
But I
in
would
the
say
technical,
do a high intensive 3 to 4 months only. Don't give yourself a very long time.
mhm.
Rather, you do a structured preparation. Give yourself 3 to 4 months
So
and go
yeah,
ahead.
so even in the all these technical rounds, what you highlighted, okay, in any of the rounds, do we get any kind of a task to do it, or it completely a kind of like one to one kind of an technical questions?
It is one to one, but in
Hmm.
the coding rounds, DSA rounds, and also in the technical domain round and system design round, you will get a shared document link. So you have to give
Hmm.
you have to write the coding, and
Oh.
also it is not compiler is not there, so you
Hmm.
cannot compile and
Hmm. Hmm.
rewrite it. So
Hmm.
you have to do it in white paper. So
Hmm.
that should be there. You should have that much confidence to write the things in white paper. So, yeah.
Okay. So once the interview is done, like what's next? Like for example, they have given they have given all the rounds, and like, how
Mhm.
long they'll get to know? I mean, like whether they are selected. Like basically, they hear back.
So typically 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, you can say,
Mm,
because lot of
mhm,
evaluation happens.
mhm.
So the HR will get back to you definitely within
Three to four weeks. Okay.
three to
So
four weeks.
how
Yeah.
this referral work? Okay, like if someone is working Google and they tell like I'm going to refer you. Okay, how this referral work? I mean, like so is it referral? Do you have any advantage in that referrals? I mean, like if someone is going through the referral.
It depends. Like, if
Mm,
you are, so basically what I have seen, if you are like applying via LinkedIn or so, and that is not in only at Google, I think in
mm, mm,
most of
mm,
the companies, it is
mm,
like that. If
mm,
you are applying on your own from LinkedIn also, then it might be like, you may get delayed response. So if it is a referral, or maybe if the HR is directly calling you, reaching out to you,
mm,
then it might be a
mm,
little faster. But again,
mm,
it is it is only up to you are shortlisted for the interview.
mm,
Sometimes you may get delayed response, sometimes you may get a bit faster response. But once you are into the interview process, then it does not matter who referred you. Like,
mm,
even if
mm.
a very top position person has referred you,
Okay.
nowhere
Okay.
it will be even disclosed.
It,
Like,
okay.
nobody knows
During the
about.
interview, process, not influence that part, right? It's completely your.
Everything, nothing will be. So even in Google, when the final hiring packet will be evaluated, your name, gender, everything will be
Mm,
encrypted, so that no bias
mm.
happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah.
overall, like how you rate, I mean, like the entire interview process, like in terms of out of 10, okay, if you just scale it, okay, this the all the process, entire process, okay, how difficult it is.
Uh, Now, if you talk about the core SWE roles, I will say it is mm, I will rate it 9 out of 10. And if it
Mm-hmm.
is technical engineer roles, then I
Mm-hmm.
will go for maybe 8.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And also, these are convertible. So once you joined as
Mm-hmm.
SWE, you can also get into something else. Once you joined
Mm-hmm.
as technical engineer roles, you can join
Mm-hmm.
into code SWE role. So that is there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All
and
right.
again, this
Mhm.
difficulty will be very personal. Maybe it was
Correct.
difficult for
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
but
correct.
it might not be
Correct.
difficult for you,
Different
right?
for the other. Okay. No, because we
Yeah.
if someone is looking a fresher as a fresher, right? So of course
Uh-huh.
they'll have the okay how difficult the interview is. Okay.
Mm.
So let's wait for the audience. Okay, if they have any questions. Okay. So else we'll wrap it. So is any other questions? So Rishabh Raj has just shared. Okay, DSA. Yeah, DSA and system design is important. Okay, she's already told. All right. Okay. Thanks, Prita. Okay, thanks for joining. I think like many people will take this tips and sure like from your help. Okay, someone may join Google also. Okay, and yes, thank you for your time. Okay, thank you for joining.
Thanks for
Yeah,
calling me
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Happy
Bye.
preparing.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye.